I'm Ed LaFlamme, the co-founder of the Harvest Group, and I serve on the East Coast.
Hello everyone, my name is Bill Arman. I'm the co-founder of the Harvest Group and I serve on the West Coast. Today's session, we're going to talk about the price is right and determining your gross margin. This is really important. We talk about gross margin quite a bit, don't we, Harvester Ed? We're going to review the gross margin. You know, it's so important that when you're determining your price, you have to know what your gross margins are per revenue stream or per department. It's critical to know that. So today we're going to cover really basically just two very simple things. First, how to determine your overall gross margin, and second, make sure you know your each and every one of your department's gross margin. So overall gross margin and then each department gross margin.
That's awesome, Bill. So the question is, what is the gross margin? How do you figure that out? Well, it's really simple. It's just a matter of first taking your subcontractors and subtracting it from sales. The resulting number is what we're going to work with, okay? Just to keep it simple. Then we're going to take the cost, that's your labor and your burden, and the materials, and subtract it from that number. The resulting number is your gross margin. It's all important because if you don't have enough gross margin, you can't pay your overhead. You can't run your company. Isn't that right, Bill?
Boy, isn't that true? You got to cover the nut.
Absolutely.
Got to cover the nut.
Absolutely.
So the next, this is really a more difficult part. So we've got the overall gross margin for the company. Now we need to determine the gross margin for each individual department. And usually we like to see this broken down for each department that represents 10% of your revenue or greater. If it's smaller than that, we're not going to worry about that right now, okay? So that's what we're going to look at. So if you have the capabilities, we want you to take the revenue generated per department, subtract the direct cost, that's your labor plus your burden plus your materials, subtract that from the revenue of each department, and that gives you the gross margin per department. Now, why that's so important, that's going to really play into your pricing strategy. You have more gross margin than other companies in different departments, you have less than others. So you have to think about this when you're getting the price is right.
And what Bill said is absolutely correct, because if you don't know that, then you don't know if your department's making money or not. Now, all the time we go to different companies and they have it all smushed together in one total company, so you don't really know what's going on. So what he's saying is really important. So we have to determine. What I'd like to have you do, though, is
this is an assignment?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, here's the assignment.
You know, the folks should go out and get your profit and loss statement, okay, from the beginning of the year, and then determine what your gross margin is up to this time, okay, and then begin to track that every single month, year to date, and then by the month. Next, break down your gross margin per revenue or department. Then you'll be able to know where you're making money and where you're not. That's just that simple, right, Bill?
It really is. Now, we talk about gross margin all the time. In fact, we call ourselves the gross marginators, for crying out loud. This is really important in determining the price is right for your company. You gotta have the right price. So this is gonna play a big part in determining your price. This is Head Harvester Bill Arman
and Head Harvester Ed LaFlamme signing off and helping you harvest your potential.